Let's go.
We can talk about it, but all talking is cheap. Cause the last word is me. The last word is me. We can talk about it, but you ain't beating me. Cause the last word is me. The last word is me.
Yeah, I know.
The last word is me. The last word is me. The last word is me.
Say what?
The last word is me. The last word is me. The last word is me.
Believe that, man.
The last word.
Yeah, that's right. You got it. Last word. Welcome back to The Last Word. We got another great, exciting show for you. But before we get started, won't you take the time to like, comment, and subscribe? We want to keep in touch with you. Latest news that we want to discuss today coming from the NFL, is Tua. The Dolphins clearly have a Buffalo Bills problem after the Buffalo Bills dominated on Thursday Night Football to win its fifth straight win over the Miami Dolphins. But the Dolphins have also another big problem, Kai. With the game already out of reach, Tua took off on the fourth down and collided with Marr Hamlin. Yep. Tua suffered a concussion from the hit, his third diagnosed concussion. So that means there's only third that we know about. He could have had more. And the timeline for his recovery is still unknown. And this creates a lot of questions. So we want to know, what do you think about Tua's future in this league? Should he shut it down? Should he keep it going? If you ask me personally, let me get your comments. Tua, as a matter of fact, if we go down to the book of accountability, if we want to go back to previous recorded statements, I thought you had Tua as an MVP or something like that. I don't know.
Whoa, MVP, cool.
You had him up there. That's what
I know. All right,
let's
first of all, listen here. I had to get out my bed early this morning, okay? I didn't wipe the matter out my eye. Barely brushed my teeth because of the slander and the disrespect on this show, all right? I could not believe my ears. First of all, hold on. First of all, no Tua for MVP. Yes, I believe that Miami would win that division this year. However, it's 1 week does not make a season, right? But let me backtrack. Sorry for a second. I digress. The disrespect out of your mouth. All right. I turned my eyes for a second.
Hey.
You don't
show up to work.
I go on the road for an evening to try to enjoy myself.
You don't show up to work. The slander's going to be on. Okay.
The slander I wake up to.
You run. You hide.
Hold on, Mister. Let's play that clip. This guy had the audacity, first of all, to say that I view Nick Wright in some high esteem. No, not Nick Wright. Nick Wright's mentor, Colin Cowherd, I definitely appreciate and think is uber talented.
Can't accept the father without the son.
Valid point. But hold on here. But the audacity then to try to bolster your point by playing a 2023 clip. People go back and look at that clip. 2023 mark. Just to try to prove his point. What kind of slanderous bull BS is
I'll
this?
admit the producers made
The
an error.
slander. I know you people out there are on top of the ball, are on the ball and seen that ish. I know you've seen that ish. How in the world are you going to use a clip from last year to prove this year's point? Yes, Burrow looked terrible.
It seems like
week. Yes, there's some questions. People talking about him trying to grab the water ball.
Do not.
But this is the week where he can write all the doubters and the haters out there, right? Going against who it matters the most against, because all roads lead to KC.
So all right.
Whether it's physically in KC or playing KC,
Tua.
We're talking
We're talking about Cincy.
Who cares about Tua? We know Tua.
Okay.
Not in that fashion. But,
okay. Yeah, we understand what you meant.
Okay.
We understand what you meant.
Okay.
So we're going to retract that. But let's talk about Cincy. Let's talk about your picks. Let's talk about your outlandish comments. Let's talk about you running.
I'm here.
Because Joe Burrow.
I'm here for it.
You are here.
I wipe my face. I brush my teeth.
So you're here.
I'm here to defend
don't
myself.
run. You sit there.
I can sit right
this
here.
time,
I'm
the
right
people
here.
want to
This
know
is the NFL.
where are you when you make those statements, and then after when your boy doesn't perform, you never show up. So listen.
1 week does not maketh a season. We all know this is
Oh,
football. This
my
is exactly
Lord.
this is exactly what the pitfalls that people fall into, right? The over gratification of
right.
1 week.
Okay,
All right?
Okay. So
Do we believe based off of last week, right? We're gonna believe that the Minnesota Vikings are one of the greatest teams. They're gonna probably get washed this week by San Fran. Oh, we're gonna believe that Tampa Bay is so great. Oh, we're gonna believe that the Saints can beat the Cowboys this week on the road. No. No, hell to the no, to the no. All right.
Okay, so let's ask
Let
this
us not-
question then. You've ranted and raged. You've gotten
I
out
got
all
out
the
my-
hate.
my
Now,
dirt box.
Let's get back on track.
Okay,
Because
let's bring it back. Bring it back.
if we are still going to stay on the premises of what you have been preaching from last year, Joe Burrow is going to go into Arrowhead Field and just take care of business. And
No. Let's not get it wrong either. Cincinnati has some issues going on here, right? You're missing your 1B receiver, right? Higgins over there. And we clearly know when Higgins is not on the field, it directly affects Chase as well. We see his numbers take a dip when Higgins is not on the field. Also, the fact that there's word that Chase is going to be on a pitch count, right? So there's only going to be so many snaps he's out there for. So there's a lot of things not going in Cincinnati's way to begin with. Never mind they're playing the defending champions and the best quarterback in the league. And I know you probably dispute that, right? But
Joe Burrow is the best quarterback in the league.
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's what you're saying.
no, I never said that.
What is
I
it?
said that Joe Burrow will reestablish himself this year, as long as he's healthy, as the second best quarterback in the league.
Ladies and
All right?
gentlemen, we've seen the tape.
Where's Mr. Play the clip? Play the clip.
Receipts. Okay, Joe Burrow, the second best quarterback.
You had Patrick Mahomes third or fourth.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I said production on the field, but we all know that he's still the best quarterback. I was very clear, but we
Very clear?
Listen, we're
Because
talking
I don't
about-
have it clear in my
we're
head.
ta- I don't have. You remember you killed me for not having Joe in my top 5.
Yes.
You put him
Yes.
top 2.
Yes, I did.
Ladies and gentlemen, there it is.
Yes, I did.
There it is.
And I also have Jared Goff winning the MVP this year. All right? All right, I said it. I didn't stutter.
And you also
Okay.
had Miami Dolphins going to the AFC Championship.
No, winning that division.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
Not a great start. Bills washing them, although Tua got injured already, and
Just
that defense is looking suspect.
Just getting back on track with
Okay.
this Cincy Chief game. Didn't Marr Chase just recently come out and say that they're the team to beat through the AFC?
Well, you can believe whatever you want to believe, and we all know wide receivers say some outlandish things, and he won't be. And it ain't nothing new. Okay, this is what the NFL is. We receivers have that bravado, that belief that they can't be stopped and no one can stop them. So hey, if for him to say anything else would be absolutely an embarrassment to that position. We know. We've seen through the years. We have our T.O.s. We had our Randy Moss. We have our... If you don't have that belief, the Ocho Cincos, if you don't have that belief that you're the best and no one can stop you, hey, whether it's quiet or loud, but that belief has to be there.
Okay.
So I'm not going to knock a guy for believing that, but facts do show that when Higgins is not on the field, his game takes a dip. He talked that talk. He better go out this week and walk that walk. He better pull that coach aside, his coordinator aside, and say, listen here. Yeah, I know we talked about a snap count, but not this week. Not this week. Because if he feels he can go, he's got to go. Because this is the one that matters. This is the one that everyone's going to have their eyes on. This is going to be the true litmus test for this Cincinnati Bengals team. So he's got to go out there and show. And he's talked about that he wants $1 more than Justin Jefferson. Hey, Justin Jefferson ain't never had no T. Higgins playing opposite of him. So if you want that kind of deal, you got to play like that kind of guy. You got to be that dude. So we're going to find out a lot about Chase this week.
So let me just give my short take because you've taken up all the time.
Oh, damn right. After that slander.
Hey, let me tell you what's going to happen. Right now, Cincinnati Bengals are on the decline. And I'm going to piggyback up what Chris Canty was saying this morning on First Take and Get Up, that the Cincinnati Bengals have seen the best of Joe Burrow. The best of his days are behind him. And let me tell you something. One thing that we fear that we fail to realize, Joe Mixon is no longer on the team. Joe Mixon was a huge part of their success, right? Mm-hmm. Let's take that out of the equation. Now you have headlines coming out of Cincinnati. I just don't understand why fans think I'm faking an injury. You know who said that? Your boy Higgins. You know why? Because he got tagged, right? So everyone now thinks he's faking this injury because he didn't get a contract. Mm-hmm. So you got two of your best players that are fighting for contracts, and they're disgruntled.
Yeah,
and like this,
it's a bad formula. It's a bad formula in football.
When Joey was so many guys, he got paid.
When so many guys are, money ain't right. You know, it ain't tight, but it ain't right.
You're gonna have to.
There's potentially gonna be some, and especially it being two wide receivers. I don't like that for their chances for this season. But I still think Burrow will be able to show that he is that dude if he's healthy. And again, there's some concerns. People talking about him trying to hold that water bottle and his wrist looking a little suspect. We're gonna find out this week because that competitive juice is gonna be amped up this week because he knows everybody's eyes gonna be on this game, and it's gonna be time to produce. I think everyone in that team is gonna buckle down for this week and say, hey, we got to put certain things aside this week because some of our money is on the line.
Okay.
And
you got a lot of faith in Joe, but we got to go. Hey. So real quick, Chiefs, Bengals, you got the
Chiefs winning. What? Wait, you think this is
only Sly Guy can do that? You talk up a quarterback, big him up, and talk every.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be a very entertaining game.
It's gonna be very.
I don't think it's gonna be a washing.
I think on the sidelines and on the cameras, but not on the field. It's not gonna be very entertaining. You got one.
I differ there. With
one wide receiver faking an injury, and one receiver not really running his routes as much, not gonna get too much targets because he's like, hey, I'm not going out there and trying to get injured until I get my. It's just a mess. Hey. It is a mess in Cincy, and I'm telling you, I'm piggybacking off
1 week,
Canty,
1 week,
and we're both. He's gonna talk great about the Bengals. I'm gonna talk poorly about the Bengals, and guess what?
We might cut to a clip of Nick Wright from last year right now, saying that the season's over. Let's do it. After week 1, the season's over.
But we both got the Chiefs. Week 2,
yes, we do,
in Kansas City. All right, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. Welcome back to The Last Word, another segment. We got our picks for this week's Sunday football. Let's start off with the Baltimore Ravens at home to the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, this is very easy. My pick is
Baltimore. Let's just keep it moving. Vegas looks.
Yeah. A tricky game, though, out in Detroit. Detroit is home to the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Yeah.
And the Bucks are looking pretty good. Evans and Godwin, Baker got them flying. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, Dan Campbell and those Lions and your MVP for this year.
That's right.
I'm going to agree with you, and I'm going to go with Lions. What do you got?
Oh, I'm glad to see that you've made your way over to my reasoning. But again, I think this is probably one of the better games of the week. Mm-hmm. Tampa Bay definitely, I think, is the front runners in that division. Mayfield seems to have found his place. He's healthy. That Bucks team has an offense that I don't think has ever been questioned in terms of the receiving core, and they got a guy to distribute the ball. But they've come into the wrong place at the wrong time. This Detroit team is on a mission this year. My quarterback, my MVP, future MVP. I think Detroit just handles business. Detroit
Lions, we both agree on Detroit. Now the next game we got Minnesota Vikings home to the San Francisco 49ers. I think this is Brandon's Ayuk's coming out game. He's going to have a breakout game. The contract's been settled, and guess practice he felt a little more loose. So let's see. Minnesota, they're in a dome, so we shouldn't have any temperature warnings or concerned. So I'm going to go definitely with the San Francisco 49ers. Hey, maybe Christian McCaffrey might be back. You never know.
I think right now he's out. I believe also receiver Jennings is out. So a few guys on the offensive end are out. However,
Got Debo.
this is again one of those moments where, again, people have seen the Vikings last week throttle the Giants and
Who?
the New York we can't play football Giants. Danny, I wish I had a dimes. That mess in the East River.
About the Giants,
That mess
we're not gonna
from
talk
the
about
East
that
River.
today.
No, I will not. I'm officially doing what I did some years ago with the Maple Leafs, and I'm seeking out a separation.
You see him rubbing that Seahawks jersey. He got Seahawks number.
I'm officially potentially a free agent out there looking.
Wow.
Again, in life, sometimes certain relationships are just not healthy for you. All right, I've got enough of this new information now that some relationships are toxic. Okay, and I think I've been in a toxic relationship with this New York Giants football team, and I think I need a separation at least until Daniel Jones is no longer on that field. But anyways, getting back to the games. Okay, I don't want to turn this into a counseling session.
You
but
got Minnesota. You got.
But I think no, I don't. Oh, I thought you were about to say I got Minnesota. But I think this is a classic. People are gonna overvalue Minnesota. Just looking at the lines, it's like I think 4.5 San Fran. I think San Fran puts a solid whooping on Minnesota and brings them back to reality a little bit. Yes, Vikings. I have to say one thing about the Vikings. The Vikings have over the last couple of years, under Coach Donald, been able to make some backup quarterbacks look pretty good in their situations. Remember last year we had the whole Dobbs hype. Dobbs coming in and winning a couple of games, looking pretty good. So, hey, maybe he's revived Darnold's career potentially, but I think people might be overbelieving from seeing what happened last week.
I mean, if you're going to talk that much about San Francisco, Minnesota, where are you going to talk about the next games? Please. There is no
You got to talk about the team. San Francisco is going to be one of the teams that are going to be one of the last survivors in this league.
You don't give them any credit. You're just supposed to say San Francisco hands down.
Hey,
come on.
I got to talk to my pro liners out there sometimes.
Let's hear what you have to say about this. This is what I call the Razor Ramon crucifixion game. This will be Bryce Young's crucifixion game. The Los Angeles Chargers, I think Herbert's going to have a field day with this one, are going to just crucify the Carolina Panthers. Bryce Young, I mean, it's just not his fault, but I don't think he's ready. I think they should have held him out. Do what Higgins is doing. Fake an injury until they're shore up that offensive line, because there is no way. I don't think Carolina's. Well, maybe they might win one or two, and that will be defense related. Who you got? Of course, you're gonna got Chargers. Come on.
I hope the people just saw what happened right here. You just berated me for talking about San Francisco and Minnesota, and you have the audacity next to turn around and talk about Carolina for like over a minute. No, Carolina's gonna lose. Bye.
All right, there we go. Dallas, New Orleans. Carr came out big last week, and everyone was saying that Derek Carr is now back. I remember you had a lot to say about Derek Carr.
I don't have a lot to say about anybody in that division.
I got Dallas over New Orleans.
I think we both have Dallas over New Orleans. Again, New Orleans, a la Minnesota. Yeah, I'm going to talk more Minnesota. I think people, again, are going to probably overvalue and think that New Orleans is a team that can beat poor teams. There it is. And Dallas at home is a solid team, especially a home favorite. I believe the best home record last season, Dallas.
All right, this is going to be a quick, really good game. You're representing them on your shirt today. The Seattle Seahawks. They're going into New England to face the Patriots, which Patriots really had a really.
They won last week.
They won last week.
Yeah.
Against?
I can't remember.
Well, let's hope that they can repeat the same performance this week. For some reason, I'm feeling this Patriots team at home.
Woo.
It's going to be a close game.
I smell it.
Oh, man. I'm just going to say it. I'm going to go with the logo you got on your shirt.
I thought you had some heart.
I'm going to say Gino's going to pull this one out.
You had some heart.
I'm going to say Gino pull this one out.
Wow. I thought you had some heart. Are you going to ride with the Patriots?
Hey, man. What are you going to do?
Come on. I can't be rocking a Seattle sweater and not say Seattle's going to go into New England and win. So,
Seattle.
Yeah, Seattle.
Now, this is a question mark. Packers list Jordan Love and Reed as questionable for week 2. Now, that is... It could be throwing off the stats man or throwing off Indianapolis, but it is a good game. But nonetheless, I think Richardson is going to have a really good game. And Jonathan Taylor might have a breakout game as well. I'm going to go Indianapolis Colts.
I don't see Love playing this week. Like, for Green Bay to do that would be absolutely stupid, right? You're not paying this guy $200+ million and going to try to rush him back at any point. Again, him not being on the IR, I guess, keeps. So we're gonna probably have this conversation every week, right, until he comes back.
Probably.
Well, will he play this week? Blah 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 blah. But with that investment, you gotta err on the side of caution. So with that being said, that means it's gonna be Willis starting at quarterback. Woo. That's a lot to believe in, that he's going to be able to amp himself up to be able to win a game. What are they going to do? Just rely on the running game heavily in defense? I don't see that. I don't see that being a winning formula this week. I think Richardson is primed for the dude is a fantasy monster. So fantasy reality, we'll see. But I think the Colts find a way to pull off a tight game.
Colts. Take it away. All right, moving on. And this is a game that, I don't know. I'm sick and tired of this. Another case. Deshaun Watson. Another case. Man, how many more cases? How many more cases?
Did we not see this coming?
Oh, man.
Did we not see this coming? What do we know about football?
What
do we know about football? If you're winning, everything's all right. You could do and be whoever you want to be, right? Things will get covered up, right? If you're a woman beater, if you're a cokehead, if you're whatever you may be, whatever you may indulge in, if you can produce and it leads to victories, they'll find a way to brush it under the rug. Cleveland believed that Deshaun would lead to some victories, so they turned a blind eye to whatever allegedly he may have been involved in or done or blah, 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 blah. But boy, they don't see no production. They don't see any results. Hey.
The biggest mistake.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Say it.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I know what you're going to say.
Conspiracy Kai's out. Conspiracy Kai's coming. And I think everyone will potentially have a thought in their mind, at least somewhere, that Cleveland is potentially
looking
involved, potentially in.
Cut him out.
Hey, they're not going to be.
Gotta go.
They're not going to be willing to put up that fence around him.
Too much distractions.
They are more than happy to find some wiggle room to get out of this contract and void it, it voided. And if
they're going to be working with the NFL, and you're right.
They're more than happy to work with the NFL
say, hey,
to find a way to.
You know what? If he's guilty, he's guilty. We didn't know
to send him down the river.
But according to the league rules and what we
they're not handing out any life jackets or life preservers.
No, he's out.
For Watson on this one.
Another case, Deshaun. You know what? You should have paid off everybody and paid off anybody that you thought could have been a potential. You know, this should have been his breakout year. This should have been his breakout year. 2 years after the mess, 1 year, of course, you played a few games. Next year, injury, of course. But this should have been your breakout year. And the first game that you came out, I didn't see anything special. I actually thought that you played kind of poorly based on what everyone was expecting from you. But now I know what the reason was. In the back of your head, you knew that case was coming.
Do you think it's that more, or do you think it's just injury that's just lingering? Because I know there's word out there that shoulder just ain't right.
Even if the shoulder's not right, you still, if you're an athlete, you still know how to make plays. You still find ways to get it done. And that's what real championship.
But that's
That's
it's
what
the
real
same problem that
superstars
it's
are.
the same problem that Baker Mayfield had there. He was injured, his shoulder was not right. They had an off season and then they got rid of him. And now we turn around, we look and we see that Baker's healthy now. And Cleveland probably wishes that, boy, man, we should have ride it out, man, because we were better off financially and potentially as a talent.
But like I said, he's been medically cleared to play. He hasn't come out and said anything about his shoulder, which probably we would accept at this point, but it was the case. I think it was a case.
It's just hanging over.
It's over. Imagine what he must be thinking. Oh my gosh!
Constantly
it's just
waiting for that other foot to drop.
You know, how many cases? You never see smoke without fire. Deshaun, I was trying to root for you, bro. I was trying to. You should have paid it off. I don't know. You got enough money. Just go and seek out every person you've had any conversation with, any interaction with. Say, I'm sorry if you felt this way. Take this money, sign this off. But Deshaun, I only sold you some lotion. Just sign the paper. Here's a lump sum. God bless you. You should have done that, Deshaun. Who's in these guys' corners? Like, come on, another case. I don't even want to talk about Cleveland Browns. You guys are just a joke. So I'm going Jacksonville. Another case. New York Jets, Tennessee Titans.
Man.
Could Aaron Rodgers actually pull this one off? I think he can. It's only the Titans. What do you think?
Woo.
That's a tight one.
Jets on the road, eh? Sheesh. I think the Jets win a tight one. I think they win a tight one. I don't think they run away with it or anything, but
they win a tight one.
I think they win, one of those 2017 type games and stay on track at least in that division.
Last game, we're gonna go with your forever loyal to this team, the New York. I don't know if they're Giants anymore, but they are in New York. The other team in New York will be facing off against the Washington Commanders. I'm going to say, for some reason, the Giants just might pull this one off. The rookie quarterback going against Jalen Daniels, this might be his coming out game, but I think because everyone's thinking that, okay, it's going to be an easy game, this should be an easy game for the Washington Commanders. A lot of confidence is going to be going up, and the Daniel Nichols is going to get back a dime. And I think that he might throw 2 or 3 touchdowns in this game. I don't know. Daniel Dimes throwing for 2 or 3 touchdowns. He might even show himself to be one of the top fantasy quarterbacks this week. I know, ladies and gentlemen, this is an outlandish take, and I don't even believe it myself. But for some reason, I believe Daniel Dimes will have a performance game in Washington. I know it's a far one. Yeah, I mean, let's bring you back. Let's bring you back.
Clear. Whoa. Listen here. I know you're trying to play with my emotions here, all right? All right.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man.
It's early in the season, you know.
Come on, come back to reality. Come back to reality.
Come back. Okay. This game. Let's
talk about it.
In reality, the Giants play well against Washington. This is actually one of the franchises that they actually play well against. The Giants are, over the last couple of years, are actually better road team than home team. They just can't figure out how to win games at home for some bizarre reason. With that being said, I will not pick the New York Giants to win a football game, all right? Because for the betterment of that franchise, they need to lose every game this year and find themselves a real quarterback. So let's go Commanders. I think Jalen Daniels has one of those massive fantasy nights. This guy probably runs for near 100 yards, throws for 200 yards, couple of touchdowns, and the Giants continue their losing season.
Well,
but they probably show up and actually win like a 13-10 game in Washington, some trash, but
it's called reverse psychology. He really wants the Giants to win, but he's just saying those words. So I got Giants, and subliminally, he's got the Giants too.
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, we just found out that Christian McCaffrey will not make his debut with the 49ers.
No need to rush him, man. No need to rush him. They got one thing the 49ers can do with that system with Shanahan is they can produce running backs. They find them from the practice squad. They find them from the wire. They find them from a guy who wasn't even a running back. Receiver Debo comes and can be a running back. That system is built to make any running back shine. And with that offensive line, as long as Trent's out there, and that line's going to be right. And as long as you got a healthy guy running, it's better just to have a healthy running back.
Well,
and they keep it going. Not to say Caffrey's not special, because he is definitely special in a different element when he is out there. But you can do with what you got until he's ready.
We'll see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. That's this week's pick. Let's see what happens. But the upset of the week, let's call before we end this segment. Upset of the week. Do you got an upset potentially?
Woo.
If you had to choose an upset of the week, which upset would it be? Baltimore losing to Vegas? Would it be Tampa taking out Detroit? San Fran succumbing to Minnesota? Carolina resisting the crucifixion?
No.
Dallas falling short to Derek Carr? Seattle, New England, that's not no real upset. Jacksonville beating Cleveland. That case is just, that's too much. The Jets, Tennessee.
I think that might be the one I would lean to.
I think that would be it too.
I think
Jets,
Tennessee beating the Jets might be. And again, at this point, early in the year, like how great of upsets are we looking at? Outside of Carolina, the Giants, pretty terrible.
I'm gonna say Jets, Tennessee would be upset of the week.
But that would probably be the game that I would look at as the upset, most viable upset of the week.
All right. Well, we'll see next week when we get back to you who actually had the better picks. And hey,
I think we were in line for most of them.
You got to show up because we might not see this guy for the rest of the season if you don't. You know he does.
Oh boy! And then we'll have the slander, and then I'll be forced to come into the studio early morning, crest in my eyes.
Hey,
barely coherent.
Hey, if that's what's going
to come defend my name,
if that's what's going to take, then hey,
to defend my name from the slander. All right, the absolute slander. But yo, we got a good week of football, and hey,
let's see who gets that last word. Till next week.